Hey gang, Kevin here, Life22, and it is it's still a morning. It's still a morning. The birds are chirping. The birds are chirping. And what we've got going on is just another Thursday morning, and it's the day before our 13,500th day episode, which I don't know if there's going to be anything special because it's just another day, right? That is the theory behind most days, is that there's always another one, typically. And we won't know until there's a last day, at which point the next day won't really matter because it won't exist. But going down some rabbit holes already this morning, folks. So I did not have a ton planned for today. I know that there was some news that most of you may not have heard. So the mayor's race has taken so this might just be an update episode. The mayor's race has taken a sudden turn. The Republican primary went from 3 to 2 yesterday, so it should depending on if all the applicants get their petitions in. There should be two candidates for the Republican primary, and then, as far as I'm aware, there is just the one applicant for, or the one person going into the Democratic line, which, since there's no competition, there is no primary, and then it will just run to the general for the Democrats. So they'll get put on a line. The Dems are supporting Amy Sherburne, who's also contesting Bill Aleo, if you're not the incumbent, if you haven't been following the race at all. So Amy is competing on as a Republican, so there will be a primary in that one. It's one of those cases where, it's going to be like a double elimination for the incumbent, which usually the incumbent has a lot more power, more war chest, more pull. But so the double elimination kind of levels the playing field. I'm not a huge fan of certain things like that. Like, you got to win 2 races now to win. If you're the incumbent, you've got to win. You just got to win one of the 2 if you are the newcomer. So I don't know. It is what it is. But we do have Amy scheduled to come on the show next Wednesday, so about 6 days out, and then the Friday the 11th, we have incumbent Sonia McCall for Ward 4, my alma mater, coming on the show. And then, so the person who did drop out of the race yesterday was firefighter. I'd say he's going to yell at me because he's a captain, I believe. But he was a firefighter, or still is a firefighter, for the Olean Fire Department, and he stepped out of the race for the Republican primary yesterday. I believe he made the announcement. I spoke with him, and he still wants to come on the show. Which is great, because then you get to kind of meet the people that are no longer running, why he's not running, things like that. So you can get some answers, get a little closure for those of you who really may have supported one candidate over another, and be like, wow, why did he break up with me, right? That whole I just need some closure. But Jared's a good guy. I'll be excited to just have a back and forth with him on the show. So that's coming up. I'm trying to think. I spoke with Joe Carey, the Ward 2 alderman, yesterday. I haven't heard back, or the candidate for Ward 2 yesterday. I have not heard from his competitor. She has not gotten back to us, but Joe is excited about setting up a time so he can come on the show as well. We've all heard from Vernon, Ward 6. So that's just a lot going on. And I've got a lot going on in my life, and I know most of you guys are like, Kevin, what happened at Tuesday night's council meeting? Well, I still haven't watched the video. I've seen these little clips on Facebook here and there. I hadn't gotten around to it yet. My daughter's been harassing me after our violin lesson. I take violin lessons with her. So you're like, oh, Kevin, you do so much. It's like, yeah. So on Monday nights, we do take violin, me and her, for an hour. And we're learning the Godfather theme song. Like, I'm learning one Taylor Swift song for her. And while we're doing that portion of her lesson, then we move to the Godfather theme song, and that's for Dad. And every week she's like, ha ha ha, well, I still haven't seen The Godfather yet. And so I put it on the books. The kids did not have church on Wednesday night. There's usually a kids' church that comes by. The bus comes and picks them up and takes them for like a, when I was a kid, they used to call it like a CCD. It was those like non-Sunday Sunday schools, right? So they skipped the last Wednesday of the month, and so me, her, and her brothers all sat down and watched The Godfather, all but like the last 30 minutes of it. So that was kind of exciting, and it was a real proud dad moment to be able to sit down with my kids and enjoy a classic movie. But why did we go down to that rate? Oh, that's why I haven't seen the council meeting. Just busy day. Busy. People have been calling me about it. I've talked to a few people about what happened and their take on it, and I just still haven't seen the footage. And I'm assuming as soon as I do see it, I'll be like, oh, well, I'll have one opinion or another. I'll like, oh, that guy was wrong when he called me, and this guy was actually very right, or maybe whatever. It is what it is, and maybe that's some fuel for tomorrow. I wanted to get into another real estate topic with you guys tomorrow and start building that portfolio, but we'll have to look into that. It may just be a council meeting review for tomorrow. So, man, it's just a regular day, man. We just hit 7 minutes, and that's it. That's all you got out of Kevin. I must have been busy yesterday. I am whooped. I've got no steam left. So, The Godfather does put me in perspective every time that I do watch it, though. I was talking with a guy a friend of mine from Ward 7 the other day, and which reminds me, David, we've yet to get your response from your email that you were going to be coming on the show, and I know how much you are excited to come on the show. So I'm not gonna Will Smith you, Dave, Ward 7 Alderman. Because I watch the council meetings. I hear my name come out of your mouth. It's never my wife, so I'll give you that. I ain't gonna come up and slap Dave. But yeah, no, we haven't heard from you, Dave. So we're also excited to have you on the show. But anyways, going back to The Godfather. So I was talking to a friend of mine from Ward 7, and he was saying how he's watched The Godfather, I think 400 times, which is a pretty impressive number. I legitimately probably have 25 times under my belt for the movie. But every time I watch it, you get that newfound respect for like how to operate a business. You got to read deeper into just the killings, right? Like you got to treat it like more of its like business moves, deals, removing people from the playing field. It's similar to local politics, right? You don't actually kill any of these people, right? But you remove them from the playing field when it comes to certain things. Like you estoppel them. Like, oh, well, Michael's tied up in Italy, like boom. It makes politics and it makes in business a lot more interesting to be able to think about it like The Godfather. And then, it's money management, it's allocation of resources, it's when to go to the mattresses, when to not go to the mattresses. It's not always time for a war, and you got to negotiate against war, and because war just kind of war can make or break a business, but it can also it can accelerate. If you're made, then you're made guy. That's the whole terminology behind it, right? So, but if you're broken, you're done. And sometimes you need to break a business a little bit to continue with that analogy. But usually when you're broke, you're broke. So it's never just a wise thing to just be picking fights all the time and picking wars and shaking things up. I mean, it's good to shake things up, but it is a fantastic movie. So actually, the 17-year-old walked in while the kids were watching it, and she was like, "Oh, you guys are gonna love this." And I'm like, "When did you see The Godfather?" She's like, "You made me watch it years ago." And I'm like, "Oh, that's right." Another proud dad moment. So, but that's my rant on The Godfather, and So we will catch you guys tomorrow. Sorry for such a short podcast, guys. Just until I watch that council meeting, I really don't have a lot of juice, and I don't really want to go down in the middle of a podcast, go down a 35-minute rabbit hole on real estate investing. So, but we'll put our thinking caps on. We'll have you something a little bit longer tomorrow. But thanks for tuning in, and I hope these updates were helpful for you. And we'll see you guys tomorrow on Life22.